You're listening to Behind the Music Podcast, a podcast that features the best musicians in Southern gospel music, with your host, Josh Griffin.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to episode 4 of Behind the Music Podcast with our special guest today, Mr. Nick Succi. Welcome, Nick. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, although I didn't hear any applause.
We'll have to add some in post-production. See if we
Oh,
can.
well, that would be lovely.
Yes, that's right.
Standing applause would be nice.
Yeah, I'll see if I can do that just for you. Sneak that in there. Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Goodness. All right, Nick, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where you're at in hiding now. Well, I shouldn't say that. Where you at now and all that good stuff like that, please, sir.
That's a very broad question. I don't know where to begin.
Well, you can.
Why don't you ask me, and I'll.
Yeah. All right. So what are you doing nowadays, Nick? Yeah.
I've been playing with mostly. I've been playing with a blues guitarist who his name is Jack DeKaiser.
Okay. Yeah.
And I've been playing with him for about 6 or 7 years now.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Still playing keyboards
and that's been my long-standing gig, as it were.
Gotcha. And I should also mention, with your dad is playing bass. Is that correct in the band as well?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
And might I add, you really should have him on your podcast as well.
Yeah.
Because he's an excellent musician.
We'll
and I would say that even if he wasn't my father.
That's right. Yes, I'll have to do that.
He's a great one. He has an extensive gospel history as well as like secular.
Okay, yeah.
So you could maybe book him, perhaps.
Okay, yeah.
I'm sure he'd be very willing.
Yeah, I'll have to do that. So since you mentioned that and you told me a little bit about it, how did you get your start, or how did you get acquainted with Southern gospel music?
It's always just sort of been in my life, like it just always was. I don't know how it got there, but it always was. One of the first recordings I ever remember hearing, and I might have been 5 or 6 years old, was the Cathedrals Traveling Live.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that is an awesome recording.
Yeah.
That was perhaps the first one I remember hearing. I didn't see them at that point, but I've heard them. The first, dare I say, American gospel group that I remember seeing was the Dixie Melody Boys. And the Dixie Melody Boys used to come up to Canada quite often. And so did the Cathedrals, but they came a little bit later. I was a bit older when I saw them. But Dixie Melody Boys with Derek Boyd, one of my favorite tenors of all time.
Yes.
And McCrae Dove, Nathan Widener, and the piano player's name, Bobby something.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I think I have that. Yeah. I might have that wrong. And Larry DeLauder.
Okay. Was it Eric Ollis?
No, Eric Ollis came later. He came in like 1992.
Yeah. Okay.
But it was 1987 or 88, I think, and it was.
I'll have to see if I can look it up right quick.
Bobby something. Oh.
Let's see here.
Forgive me for forgetting.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. So they come up to Canada a good bit up there, the Dixie Melody Boys back in the day, you said?
Dixie Melody Boys and Cathedrals were up there all the time. Now, Kingsmen, no.
Right.
Gold City? Once.
Okay.
I remember seeing them in London, Ontario, which means nothing to you, but it was a little bit of a distance.
Okay. Yeah.
But they came to Canada once. But I remember Tim Riley saying they but I don't know. I hope I'm not misquoting him, but basically, like they just couldn't afford it
Okay. Yeah.
because
Gotcha.
because like it just the exchange rate and everything else. So
Right. Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha.
yeah.
Okay. So you did have a history.
If I'm
Yeah.
misquoting, I
No,
apologize.
that's fine. So you do have a history with Southern gospel, not just like as a fan. And I know you told me you learned piano, or not, I won't say all the way learn piano, but learn by listening to Gold City and Kingsmen and trying to play along with, right?
Pretty much.
Okay. Yeah.
If you want to know the absolute truth, Josh,
Yeah.
which I might as well.
That's right.
I only learned. I only. Well, thank you. I only learned to play piano because my sister learned piano, and she used to kind of like make fun of me for not being able to play
Ah.
what she learned to play.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just sort of fooled around with the piano, and all of a sudden I learned how to play a couple of chords, and everything kind of went from there. And I basically, excuse me, I basically learned to play piano by playing along with cassettes.
Okay. Yeah. Gotcha. Okay.
Kingsman, I wore out so many Kingsman cassettes,
Yeah.
and Gold City was number two, but Kingsman was always number one.
Right. Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha. Speaking of the Kingsmen, well, way most people are Southern Gospel fans and people in Southern
Who was
Gospel
speaking at the
mention.
Kingsman?
Yeah.
Was I speaking at the Kingsman?
Yeah. Well, we'll throw on what you
Well,
mentioned.
there you go.
Yeah. That's right. So you joined them. What year did you join them, and how did you get acquainted with them to join them? I guess you would say.
Depends how much time you have
Go ahead.
for me to tell the story.
We got plenty of time. Yeah, because I've never
All right.
heard the story.
What I
Yeah.
did, well, once you hear it, you might be sorry you heard it.
Nah.
What I did, I bought myself a 4-track recorder,
Mm-hmm.
and I recorded myself a demo of me playing like 2 or 3 songs, piano, and then I did the bass guitar on top of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I sent copies to about 20 different groups. What I did, I bought Singing News used to have what was it, like a guidebook?
Yes, I know what you're talking about. I'm trying to think. What is I can't, I know what you're talking about. I can't think
It
of
was
the name
like a
of it.
source.
Right.
Yeah, I bought myself one of those.
Uh huh.
Picked out about 20 groups that I
Yeah.
would have been happy to be a part of, because me being from where I am,
Right.
I was like the fan from like far away.
Uh huh.
So I wasn't the kind of fan who like you saw like every 6 or 8 weeks.
Right.
I was the fan who just nobody knew about. And I sent demos to about 20 groups.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it was like over a year later. Actually, I'm gonna sidestep here.
Yeah.
I got a letter in the mail one
Uh-huh.
day from the Dixie Melody Boys.
Ah. Okay.
And it said, "Thank you very much for applying for the lead singer position,"
Okay. Yeah.
which I didn't do.
Right. Yeah. I was about to say you didn't mention that part, but okay. Yeah. Yeah. Uh,
It's all I can do to hit like a middle C. So
right.
why would I do that? And it said, you obviously have talent, and we really encourage you to keep progressing.
Yeah.
So I didn't get the lead position with the Dixie Melody Boys because I didn't apply for it.
It makes you wonder, is there another Nick Succi that applied
So
for lead
okay,
singer?
well, so
Yeah.
you don't want Nick Succi to be your lead singer.
Okay.
You really don't.
Yeah.
So we'll go back to the Kings.
Uh-huh.
I was I had just finished college
Uh-huh.
and I was working, believe it or not, at KFC.
Okay. Yeah.
And I came home from KFC one day because I was living with my grandmother at the time. So I got home, and my grandmother was for some reason she was in the garage, and she said, "Oh, you got a call today?" And I said, "Well, who from?"
Yeah.
And she said, "From Parker Jonathan."
Ah.
Now I know she couldn't have made that up because
Right.
nobody would ever make up that name.
Right.
And I said to her, I said, I said to her, I said, "Look, don't fool with me.
Right.
Don't mess with my head."
Right. That's right.
And sure enough, it was Parker Jonathan, and she gave me the number. I called him back, and he said, "Well, Andrew Ishii, a great musician in his own right."
Yes. Yes.
He said Andrew Ishii was leaving,
Uh-huh.
and they were looking for a piano player, and there were about 3 people who had recommended me.
Okay. Yeah.
Because Parker, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but before Parker joined the Kingsmen, which was 1989,
Mm-hmm.
he was involved with a group in Canada called Royal City.
I didn't know that. I knew you
So
lived in New York.
he
Yeah.
knew
Right.
he was
Okay.
Tonawanda, so which was like 20 minutes from the border.
Okay. Yeah.
And where I live in Hamilton, I'm only about an hour from the border.
Okay.
So he was quite connected with people in the Canadian gospel world.
Right.
And there were about 3 people who had recommended me.
Okay. Yeah.
And so he said, I'll tell you what, here's where we're going to be on a certain date. And it was, I'll never forget the name of it, but I might not always know how to pronounce it.
Right.
Cresaptown, Maryland.
Okay.
And that was, I believe it was August 24th, 2001.
Okay. Yeah.
So myself, my mother, and my grandmother as well
Yeah.
drove down to Cresaptown, Maryland, rented a hotel room.
Uh-huh.
I set up my piano
Yeah.
just to practice a little bit,
Right.
and I did the best I could do. Went to the church where they were going to be performing,
Yeah.
and I tried out with them. What we did was 3 songs.
Mm-hmm.
I did from the album Proven Time and Time Again. I played I Never Trusted You.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I don't think that was the best choice I could have made. I could have maybe done a little bit better. Then I did a song with just the band,
Mm-hmm.
which was Get You to the Other Side.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I think that went over decent enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then with the entire group,
Uh-huh.
we did Glory Road.
Okay. Yes.
And then my mother and my grandmother, we stayed for the concert, and they hauled me up on stage for Glory Road,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
and I thought it went over well.
Yeah.
I didn't know all there was what you might be aware of, Josh. There was a lot of politics
Uh-huh.
with the Kingsmen at the time.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So by the time I went home, I heard back from Parker,
Yeah.
and he said, "Well, and Andrew decided to stay." I thought, well, all right, whatever.
That's right. Yeah.
Such as it is. Then I went to National Quartet Convention, and as you might surmise based on the dates, I rented a hotel room, woke up, I believe it was a Tuesday, which was September 11th.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Every channel
Uh-huh.
was all about
Right.
you know what.
Yeah, we watched it that day in 7th grade in every class. Yeah. Yeah.
So I was thankful I didn't fly down because
Right. Oh yeah.
I wasn't sure if I could have flown home.
Yeah, that's
So,
true. Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
but I stayed. Yeah, I stayed for convention and watched as much as excuse me as much as I could,
Right.
and certainly enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But I felt like I'm watching the Kingsmen, and like, well, I could have been there.
Right. That's
But
right.
Andrew decided to stay. By the time I got home, I got a call from Parker again,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
and he said a lot has happened.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
How soon can you get here?
So take a pause right there, Nick. What was you thinking at that time? Then you basically just said the guy that was going to leave is not leaving, but then ever how many days later you get a call back and say, "Hey, can you come back and be with us?" What was you thinking?
If I'm going to be honest, Josh,
Yeah.
for me,
Yeah.
it was a dream come true.
Yeah. Oh
Because
yeah.
what are the chances that some schmuck from Canada would join his favorite group?
Yeah.
What are the chances of that?
Yeah.
It was. I couldn't. There was no way I could have said no.
Right. Yeah. That's right. That's right. Yeah.
So I packed up, drove down. I crossed the border into Buffalo.
Yeah.
And I stopped at a gas station and bought an atlas because
Okay.
I didn't even know how to get to Asheville.
Yeah. Yeah.
All I knew was come to Asheville,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't know anything past that.
Right. That's right.
So I stopped for the night at Berea, Kentucky.
Okay.
Next morning, drove to Asheville,
Yeah.
and then I called Parker and asked him like, where to now?
Right. Yeah. That's right.
So I drove. What I ended up doing, I drove to Ray's house.
Mm-hmm.
Ray and Carolyn's house, where Brandon was living at this. He wasn't married then,
Right. Right.
where he was still living too. But so I drove to Ray and Carolyn's house. Met Carolyn for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't find a lovelier woman.
Right. Yeah.
Sweetest woman in the world.
Yeah.
She was an absolute champion and a hero to me.
Right.
And I set up my piano in their basement,
Okay.
and I learned some of the songs from their most recent recording. Well, it was Kingsmen at the time.
Yeah.
Was from I Will.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so I had to practice like some of the songs from I Will because I didn't even have the CD.
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah.
and I did that.
That's right. Good.
Then I later on in the evening, because the Kingsmen left usually at Wednesday at midnight.
Okay.
That's generally when they would depart.
Yeah.
So we used to park off of I-40. Again, that might not mean anything to you, but
Yeah, I
off of
know
I-40,
I-40.
there was a
Yeah.
Cracker Barrel, and that's where we would park. That was where we parked our cars.
Okay. Yeah.
So I brought Brandon in my van at the time, and we parked the van, and I met Jerry Martin for the first time, met Randy Crawford for the first time.
Yeah.
Jason I already met,
Ah, okay. Yeah.
but even when I tried out with the
Yeah.
group, I didn't really get to meet the singers.
Right. Right.
And so I got on the bus for the first time.
Uh-huh.
I met the bus driver. His name was Cliff Harbor.
Okay.
Again, an absolute gentleman.
Yeah.
But and then off we went. Off the bus went, and I got to hear all of the intricacies
Mm-hmm.
of what happened with the Kingsmen slash. We didn't even have a name.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah.
So there was a lot of politics. If you wanna know the real inside and out, you'll have to ask Ray or Brandon, I guess. I don't think I'm qualified
Yeah. No, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
to really go into it.
Right. That's fine. That's understandable. Yeah. Yeah.
I told you I would bore you.
No, no. See, I've known you, but I never knew how you joined or how you got acquainted with them. Because when I'm thinking, like you said, Canada, when I'm thinking of Canada, I'm not thinking a hotbed for Southern gospel music fans, per se. So this is very interesting.
It
Yeah,
is,
very interesting.
Josh. It's much less so now.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
used to be like a kind of an isolated group,
Yeah.
but it's even smaller now,
Would
which is a shame. But
yeah. Would you say I guess with over the past several years with the economy bad and all, groups downsizing, they're not traveling much, they don't go out west much now. Would you think that'd have something to do with it too? Groups just not going up there, you know. I guess if they don't go up there, people won't find out about them, per se. But then you got Enlighten on Sirius XM, or you got YouTube, but still, you know, that may have some stuff to do with it. That I just don't know.
that could very well be, Josh.
Yeah,
I I have to admit I'm not sure.
yeah, that's right. So you got the job with Kingsmen, or let's say Carolina Boys. You said the lineup at the time: Jerry Martin
They
singing.
weren't even Carolina
Oh
Boys
yeah.
then. They were like unnamed group.
Okay. Yeah. So the people knew the singer, so they still booked them anyways, right? Yeah. So this was after NQC in 2001. Yeah. Jerry Martin singing tenor,
Yep.
Parker singing baritone, Randy Crawford singing lead,
Randy Crawford.
Ray Dean bass, Jason Self
Yep.
bass guitar, Brandon on drums, and then yourself on piano. Um, do you remember your first concert very well? And what kind of
Yes,
what?
it was. Uh, I do remember that was September 20th,
Uh-huh.
2001,
Okay.
and that was Opp, Alabama.
Op Alabama. Okay.
I
Yeah.
do remember that.
Okay. Gotcha. Um, I'm guessing probably nervous,
You
maybe.
didn't expect me to remember that,
No,
did you?
that's neat. I'm glad you did
Sorry?
though. Was you very nervous and all? I mean, I imagine so, right? Well, you was probably used to playing. I mean, I don't know.
Um, was I nervous? I don't know. Josh, I'm not sure. I
Yeah.
don't recall me being
Okay.
nervous. I don't recall me being like over and above like overconfident,
Yeah.
but
Right.
I don't recall me being nervous.
Right. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. Gotcha. And you
I just tried to blend in, you
yeah.
know.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's right. So you stayed with how long did you stay with well, yeah, the Kingsmen altogether, the Kingsmen Carolina Boys, how long did you stay with them?
Over 6 years.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
My last date was, oh, was it? December 6th or December 2nd. It was in December, so it
Yeah.
was over the 6-year mark.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
The last date was in Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Langley? Somewhere in Virginia.
Okay. Yeah. And I remember when you and I think Grant Barker
It's a
had left.
church. It's a church with
Uh-huh.
it's a church with some. If anybody hears this, it's a church with a round dome,
Uh-huh.
and the acoustics are horrible.
Okay. Yeah.
Because they're bound to be.
Right.
But I've got it somewhere. If I knew,
Yeah.
if I had it at the tip of my fingers, I would tell you.
That's right. And you and bass player at the time, Grant Barker, left at the same time. Is that correct? Or kind of thereabouts? Or come off the road? Let me say
Sorry?
it that way. You and Grant Barker, the bass player, come off the road at the same time, correct?
We came up the road. It was both of our last days.
Yeah.
But we didn't resign together.
Right. Okay.
I want to make that very clear. We
Yeah.
didn't resign. It was not like a cooperative thing.
Right.
He resigned on a Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I resigned on the Sunday.
Okay. Yeah. Gotcha. Okay.
It was not a conspiracy.
Right. That's right.
Not at all.
So while you were playing with the Kingsmen, tell us a bit about your keyboard and also the famous Hammond organ, if you don't mind.
Oh,
yes. I remember that back in the day. Yes. Because as a fan of Southern Gospel, I've never heard anything like it, especially with the Kings. But I loved it. I really did. Yeah, I'm not just saying that because you're right here in front of me, but I really loved it. Yes.
well, you can say it. You can say it because I'm in front of you.
Well, that too, yes. But I did love it. Yes.
Well, thank you very much.
Yes, very much. Yes.
It was not prompted at all.
That's right.
The piano with the Kingsmen for all pretty much 6 years was a Yamaha P200.
Okay. Yeah.
It was same piano all through.
Right.
The famous Hammond organ.
Yes.
Well, what you don't know is there was a Hammond organ before that Hammond organ.
Okay.
But it got ruined
Uh-huh.
when the Kingsman office got flooded.
Okay. Gotcha.
So that was the end of that.
Yeah. So,
but the Hammond organ. Sorry, no,
go ahead.
I cut you off.
No, go ahead with the Hammond organ. Yeah, I want to hear about it. Yeah, go ahead.
The reason, there's a couple of reasons why I wanted to introduce the Hammond, and one of them is because one of my favorite bands outside of gospel music, Deep Purple.
Okay.
John Lord, organist, maestro.
Okay.
Absolute maestro.
Yeah.
And I grew to just love him I thought he was awesome.
Yeah.
But I wanted to introduce something that was a little bit different.
Yeah.
Like okay, there's piano.
Mm-hmm.
How many times can you play I'll Fly Away?
Right. That's right.
You wanna maybe try to spice things up, and
right.
maybe introduce something different. And I thought, well, why not introduce the organ?
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
And that was where that came from. Now, what I also want to make clear, if you don't mind me saying,
no, go ahead. Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I didn't ask for permission to utilize it.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
I didn't ask Ray, like, hey Ray, can I do you mind if I play the organ? No, I never did that.
Right. Okay.
I just it was somewhere in Alabama, I think it was, where I used it for the first time, and I didn't even really, Josh, I have to admit, I didn't even really know how to use it.
Okay.
I had to kind of learn as I went.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, I couldn't tell if you was learning. I mean, it sounded really good.
I was a complete
Yeah.
novice, but as time went by,
Uh-huh.
I came to learn how to utilize it more.
Right. That's right.
Some of the time, it conflicted with the pre-existing soundtracks, which I don't think there are too many people who would disagree with me. I don't. I've never been a fan of soundtracks.
Yeah. No, yeah. Hey, I always say as long as you got
Never.
musicians up there, use
I'm
them.
like the worst. I'm I'm the worst offender of that.
Goodness.
But time went by, and I learned where to use it, where not to use it.
Right. That's right. That's right. Oh goodness. But yeah, I really did love it.
By the way, how's your P bass doing?
It's doing good, doing good.
I'm interviewing you now.
Okay, yeah. I still don't play it as much as I do my American jazz. I love it, but I played, I think outside or played concert or whatever twice. Yeah, it's about time to break it back out again. But yeah, I love it. That was
Do you find the American jazz?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sorry, I cut you off.
No, go ahead. Well,
No, I cut you
okay.
off. Sorry. Please.
I was gonna say my first Fender was a Mexican P bass, 2001, made in Mexico. The tricolor burst, the 3-color sunburst. So I've wanted one back.
Oh, all right.
So yeah, and I finally got this one. So I'm happy. Yeah. Yeah.
If you don't mind me asking, do you find the jazz bass a little bit heavy?
That American one is, yes. Mine is, yes, sir. Yeah. 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 Which I've got on it a leather Scotch baseless and strap from the last time they had them. They were selling them, and I actually found a guy on Talkbase forum in the classifieds on there on the store on there. A guy was selling them, and he said, "Hey, I got two of them. You want to buy them?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "How much you want for two of them?" I thought he was going to give me like $200, $100 piece, but he said, "No, I'll take $60 for both of them." I said, "Yes, I'll pay you right now. Send it on." So I got two of those.
$60 for both of them?
Yeah. And when
Two?
Scott, yeah, two of them. And when Scott Devine of Scott's Bass Lesson was selling, he was selling like $140 a piece. I said, "Yeah, let me have both of them." Yeah. And I searched all over, couldn't find it. Looked on eBay, nobody. And then I found Talkbase, and I think I paid like a $5 monthly fee where because I didn't have enough of post credits or whatever on there, so I could post something in the store. And yeah, it wasn't up there very long. The guy messaged me might have been out up in Virginia or something. I said, "Yeah, I want them." So, yeah, that's right. Why not? Be crazy.
Go with it.
Be crazy not to. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
That's capitalism for you.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But yeah, the P bass, it's got flats. It's got the Roto Sound flats. It's got the red windings on the tuning pegs. I'm a sucker for bass strings.
Well, you mean flats? Do you mean like
flat wound? Yeah, flat wound strings on it. Yeah, on the P bass.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then of course round wounds on the jazz.
Do you prefer those?
On a P bass, I do. Yeah, on a P bass. Yeah. Now I know your time with the Kings or Carolina Boys Kingsmen. Y'all probably did some concerts with the Freemans. Daryl Freeman. He plays the old P bass.
Yeah.
And I asked him on Facebook. I said, "Do you use flat wounds?"
Does he? I don't.
Yeah, he's got old P bass he plays. And I said, "Do you do flat wounds on your P bass?" He said, "No, I do round wounds." I thought that was interesting. He said something about the frets or something. I don't damage the frets. I don't know. I think it wouldn't hurt them, but he probably knows more than I do. But But yeah, I said okay, because I always heard P bass and flats, flat wounds. Yeah. So
I wouldn't know what I did have once, because I used to have what was referred to as a PJ bass.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was like a P bass body,
Yeah.
with like dual pickups.
And had the P bass pick guard
And
too, right?
I had tape. Sorry?
Had the P bass pick guard on it too, right? Is that correct? Probably. Instead of the jazz bass pick guard.
It might have been. Actually, no. I take it back. There was no pick guard on it.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
It was just solid black.
Yeah.
But I had the tape wound strings.
Yes. The black tape
Which
wound.
were a little bit warmer sounding.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I found in one of my cases the other day a
And
set
with-
of them
with-
still of the black tape wound Diodarios I took off one bass. So I might could put it on that one day. I don't know. We'll wait and see. On the P bass.
Try.
Yeah. I like.
You know what I also used to play with when I was when. Oh, sorry, I cut you off.
No, go ahead. I'm finished. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
When I was playing like on worship team, I played through a bass pod,
Yeah.
which I really liked because I can alter kind of the amp sounds.
Yes. Okay.
On it, and I really appreciated that. It was a lot of fun.
Was it the red half moon shaped looking thing? I think, is that right?
No,
Bass
it's like a light black.
pod? Okay. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, had pretty good sounds come out of it though. Good tone and all.
You're talking about the red one,
Yeah.
which is like the guitar version.
Ah, okay.
The bass pod is the same. It's just a darker skin.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, I love my.
Here I
recipe
am
bass.
being a piano player, talking about bass.
Well, you can play it too, from what I hear. So yeah, feel free. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Oh, goodness.
There are plenty of bass players who can outplay me. Jason Self, Grant Barker, Adam Borden, who I enjoyed his episode with you, by the way.
Thank you.
My dad. They can all play circles around me. So I don't pretend to be anything otherwise.
The crazy thing about the podcast with Adam, I didn't think nothing about asking him about his gear, and I told him, I said, I'm gonna have to get you back again because we didn't talk nothing about gear. And that was the main thing for it. I said, I didn't.
Well, you should get him back on.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna get him back. Yeah, I'm gonna get him back. I told him, I said, I'm gonna have to get you back on because I messed up that one. I didn't talk about nothing about gear, and that slipped my mind. Oh goodness!
You know what? Send me the link, and I'll host the podcast, and I'll ask him.
Hey, I might have to bring you on here. Well, let you be a co-host, or you be the host, and I'll be the co-host. Yeah, that'll work too. Yeah, that'll work. Oh
no.
Oh,
I'm too shy.
Nah. Oh goodness. So let me ask you this, Nick. When you was with the Kingsmen,
ask me anything you like.
Yeah, when you was with the Kingsmen, Jim Hamill, he traveled with y'all some, correct? When you was playing with the Kingsmen, is that correct?
Yes.
And how was that traveling with Big Jim Hamill?
It depends on if you want me to spoil the imagery.
No, don't do that. Yeah. How was he? Let me ask you that. Was he?
Because that's what I'm going to do anyway.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, was he goofy and all? And I know
he was an absolute teddy bear.
Okay, yeah.
He was nothing but a gentleman.
Yeah.
Through and through.
Yeah.
My own mother took him to where were we? Somewhere in Michigan, I think it was, and she dropped him off at the whatever hotel we were staying at or he was staying at, and then she picked him up. Gentlemen.
Okay. Yeah.
Absolute gentleman.
Yeah.
Nothing but kindness. He was so sweet. He did I share that if I'm repeating myself, you can cut this part out,
No,
right?
go ahead. Yeah. But go ahead. It's fine either way.
He said, whatever I say on stage,
Uh-huh.
I'm the bad guy.
Okay.
Everything I say and everything I do is to make you look good.
Ah, gotcha.
And he lived up to that image.
Yeah.
He when I play an intro for like say love lifted me, right? And he'd say, "Wait a minute, that was horrible.
Yeah.
Do it again and do it better."
Yeah.
It was always to uplift me,
Right.
and he was always the antagonist.
Yes. Okay. Gotcha.
And he was absolutely brilliant on stage. There was nobody could hold a candle to him on stage.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Nobody. Even Parker was a phenomenal MC,
Right.
but Hamill was one of a kind, and you'll never find another one like him.
Right. Right.
Hamill was brilliant.
I can remember meeting him. It had to be like 2006 or
Did
7.
you met him?
Yeah, but it was 2006 or 7.
Oh, 2007 was when he died.
Okay, let's say 2005.
Well, not long
then.
before.
Okay, let's say 2005 because I think y'all was in Waycross for the All Night Singing 2005 maybe, or it might have been 04. But it wasn't at the.
That sounds about right.
I think it was one of the last years they had it because it wasn't at the football field downtown. It was out at the fairgrounds, basically up under the big shelter. And he was there that night, and I guess his health wasn't too good because I remember there being like an ambulance kind of parked close by the bus. But I had a little, I guess, a Polaroid camera or whatever, and took a picture with him and Ray. And I don't know what happened to the picture this day. I wish I had it, but because y'all had some of those 3 or 4 for $20, some of the older albums, Bible Tone records, Kingsmen records on CDs. That's how long ago
That
that's been.
sounds about right.
Yeah. So, like I said, I'm pretty sure I talked to him, but I don't remember nothing. And I wish I had that picture today, but I don't. So, but yeah, but I remember him being there that night.
Well, I can draw one for you.
Yeah, please do. Send it by way of email. Yeah. Oh,
I'm a horrible artist.
You got to draw better than I can.
But for a horrible artist, I'm pretty below average.
Okay. Oh goodness. Since we was talking about Big Jim,
Hamill was.
He was, great guy. That's right. Speaking of him, Nick, talk a little bit about the big 50th anniversary reunion concert they had and all, if you don't mind, please, sir.
Well, in Chattanooga.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Hamill wasn't able to be there, which was. He spoke on the phone, I believe,
Yeah.
but he was not able to be there, and which was disappointing for everybody.
Yeah.
It was a great concert. I have two versions of it. I have the recording that I made,
Mhm.
and then I have another recording that somebody else made.
Yeah.
So both of them are audio. So that's not true. My recording is video, but it's missing a song and a half.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah.
But as for a concert, I'd say it came across pretty well.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would have been nice to have been recorded, but
Yes.
like professionally recorded. But I can't really speak about that. I'm not an authority.
Right. That's right. But there were, a bunch of former.
But if there's anything like specific you want to know about it, or
you probably got to meet a bunch of former Kingsmen you probably hadn't met before, I guess you would say. Maybe, Or he probably
There were a few actually.
yeah.
I hadn't met Greg Fox
Uh-huh.
in person,
Yeah.
and it was very very nice to meet him in person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tim Lovelace I've met before.
Uh-huh.
Nick Bruno I've met before.
Okay.
Randy Miller. I can't think of anybody else that I hadn't met
Yeah.
prior.
Okay. Yeah. That's right. But yeah, that
But it was a wonderful evening.
that's
It was
right.
wonderful.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. Oh, a couple.
Were you there for
No,
that?
I wish I wasn't. Let's see, that would have been 2007. So I was a senior in high school. I wish I would have went, but no. I remember when they was
That was March
March in 2007. Okay. Yeah.
March 5th.
Okay. Yeah. I wish I would have went.
For some reason I remember the date.
Yeah. I wish I would have went. I'd have been like a kid in the candy store or something. Meeting all the Kingsmen. From over the years past. Yeah.
Goodness, I was a kid in a candy store that day.
That's right. That's right. Goodness. Yeah, because you had
Except there was no candy. It was just really setting up and tearing down.
okay, yeah. And you played a good bit on it too,
There you
didn't
go.
you?
I had a few moments.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. On the how many CDs?
Is any of this gonna be usable?
Yes, all of it is. Yes. Yes.
Well, that's your own fault then.
Let me ask you this, Nick. How many speaking of the CDs and all, how many CDs or recordings did you play on for the Kingsmen? I think I know the answer to this, but
Well,
I could
my
be
first
wrong.
one was Honor the Heritage.
Mm-hmm.
No. Honor the Heritage.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I played anything on Good News. I don't think I played anything on Ready.
Mm-hmm.
Born Again. Ah, my memory fails me on that one.
Uh-huh.
My Past is Past. 2 for sure.
Yes. Yeah.
And Good God. Maybe a couple, but not much.
Yeah.
It was pretty much always like the session musicians,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if that's because they were more reliable, or I didn't join whatever union they belonged to.
Okay. Yeah. Speaking of those,
That was a really long answer to a very simple
no, that's
question.
fine. Speaking of those, well, you basically told us what CD, when you was with the group, what CDs were recorded. What of those CDs? What were your favorite one that you was on the cover of? I guess you would say that you was most proud of, or whatever.
My answer is not going to be the most popular,
Uh-huh.
but I'm going to actually lean towards Ready.
Yeah, that was a good CD all the way around. Yeah, top to bottom. Yeah.
I thought it was
Yeah.
fantastic, but nobody else kind of felt the same way. Even people in the group didn't feel the same way.
Really? Okay. Yeah.
And I thought it was great because I thought Randy Crawford did a wonderful job. He wasn't there much longer after it was released,
Right.
but I still thought it was a great representation.
Yes. Yeah.
So that would be my like desert island
Yeah.
CD of whatever I was involved
Right.
or roundabout way involved in.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. Yeah, that was a very good CD. Like I said, all the songs
How about you? Do you have what's your favorite Kingsman CD
of all time.
if you have
Of
one?
all time, if I have one, probably
Give me all time.
all time, probably Shelter. Yeah. Yeah. And you know which one,
That's
you know what my favorite song is, so you know the answer. That you know why I picked that. Yeah, because you played it a bunch when you was with the group.
Remind
I'll
me.
Live Again.
Mm, that was a fun one to play.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Because I remember when Brian was with the group.
We did it a few.
I remember when Brian was with the group.
Do you mean the first time?
The last time when y'all was together on the bus together. Of course, you know he would call me up on stage to sing with y'all, and y'all always play that one. Yeah, and y'all did a fantastic job playing that one. Yeah, did a real good job. Yeah. Now that would have been a fun one to put the Hammond organ on, see what it sounded
It
like.
was.
Because y'all didn't use tracks when you done that. You just kicked it, band, right? Just band only, right?
No, that was that one. There was no alternate soundtracks
Right.
to that one.
So yeah, you could have snuck the Hammond organ in on that one. It sounded
So
good.
well, if I can go back in time, maybe 15 years, maybe I could add
Yeah,
something.
that's right. That would be pretty neat to hear, though. Yeah, yeah. That's right. That's right. Oh goodness, yeah, that would have been pretty neat to hear.
Are you sure? You're sure that all of this is usable, right?
Yes, every bit of it. Yes, yes, every bit of it. Yeah.
Oh, it's your funeral.
Just play well at it. Just play well. Play some Kingsman tunes. Yeah. I know of a great bass player, your daddy. He probably could play some Kingsman, I'm sure. Yeah. Oh goodness.
Oh, he can outplay every every Kingsman bass player, and I've played with two of the best.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jason Self and Grant Barker. You didn't ask me this question, but I'm
Go ahead.
gonna
Yeah,
answer it
go
for
ahead.
you.
Go ahead.
They're both diametrically opposite approaches to playing bass.
Okay. Yeah.
But they both are the best
Mhm.
at what they do. Jason Self is you'll get that. You'll get
Yeah.
this. Jason Self plays by feel.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
He'd hit a wrong note maybe twice a year.
Ah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
He barely ever.
Right.
But Jason Self always just knew where to go. He just knew instinctively where to
Yeah.
go. Grant Barker was a very technical bass
Yeah.
player. He wanted to know, like, when he first started with us, he made himself some charts,
Ah, yes.
and he needed to know, like, what note to play, when, and where.
Right. Yeah.
Both completely
Yeah.
opposite, but the best at what they did.
That's
So
right.
to compare one against the other, I couldn't do that.
Right.
Because they're both 100%.
Yeah. I mean, of course, you had Jason Self. I mean, he just
Apart from Tim Surratt,
yeah.
sorry,
No,
I cut you off.
Go ahead with Tim.
I cut you off all the
No,
time.
you
I'm
fine.
so
You
sorry.
fine.
No,
I was gonna say with Jason Self. I mean, those licks. But then Grant Barker, when y'all did the instrumental "God Rest You Merry Gentlemen," good Lord, I couldn't play bass on that. No,
That
I'm just gonna
was
be honest with you. I'd be like, go ahead, Nick. I'll sit and listen to you and Brandon.
that. I'm proud of that, but I have to say that was entirely a complete team effort.
Yeah. Okay.
The only thing I added more than anybody else was the suggestion of the song initially.
Okay. I was about to ask you that. Yeah.
But as we, that was my idea.
Yeah.
The rest of it was a complete band effort. We worked on that quite a bit,
Yeah.
and that was a 100% team effort.
Yeah. That's right.
So I can't take any credit any more than anybody else.
Right. But yeah, that's
My next suggestion would have been if Grant and I were there longer.
Yeah.
Because Jason couldn't have done what Grant did on that.
Right.
But Grant couldn't do some things that Jason did.
Right.
So My next suggestion would have been a mighty fortress is our God.
Oh, okay.
Because I would have had a lot of fun. I would have had a lot of fun with that one.
Yeah,
That would have used definitely used some work.
that's right. That's right. And you
But,
jazzed it up a little bit, Kingsman style.
well,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
no, I would have jazzed it up with Nicky Succi
Yeah,
style.
there you go. That'd be even better. Yes, that's right. Nicky Succi out. Yeah. Mm,
which
yeah.
which probably demerits it a little bit.
Nah. Oh goodness. Speaking of that, with the God rest you merry gentlemen. How did you? I guess.
God messy
Yeah, I
gentleman.
changed the title. You liked it, didn't you? God rest you, merry gentlemen. How did you? What did y'all do when you learned it?
So it's a four-way split then. It's a four-way split.
Yeah. How did y'all?
Because you already added your
Yeah,
part.
that's right. So how did y'all come up with? I mean, did y'all do charts for it and just learn it that way with the number charts, or how'd y'all come up with that? As
Nope.
smart as y'all are, I mean, I would have to have it wrote
No
down.
charts whatsoever.
Okay, really? Okay, gotcha.
No charts at
Yeah.
all. There was no need for it.
Yeah. Okay.
We worked it out long
Yeah.
enough that we had it down. We had it down by rote.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
My appreciation leans towards minor keys.
Ah, okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Love minor
Yeah.
keys.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's where that you probably came from.
Yeah. Would you say the minor keys sound better on organ? Maybe is organ best suited for minor keys?
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
I don't know if it is or not, but I know that's where I love
Right.
it.
Yeah. Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. That's very interesting. I always wondered how y'all come up with that. And
Minor keys just sound bigger, you
yeah.
know.
Yeah. That's right.
At least maybe it's me.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
I wish I could ask you a question.
Well, let me ask you this: with that same song, what key did y'all do it in?
We did it D minor.
D minor. Okay. Gotcha. Huh. That's interesting. Okay. Yeah.
And if you want to play along with something, you could start there.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's the best song. I'm just saying you could start
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
and then you go from that to I'll Fly Away.
Yeah. That's right. Oh.
In the key of G.
Yeah, that's right. Which I had to admit that we played it at church so much I don't, I'll Fly Away is, I'd rather not. But yeah, I'll leave it at that. Oh goodness.
My church doesn't play I'll Fly Away. They play, I don't know, Matt Redman, Chris Tomlin.
Yeah.
It's all praise and worship.
What would they do if you snuck it in on them though?
Carrie, what's her last name? Joe.
Okay, yeah.
Funny you should mention. Pastor made a reference a couple of weeks ago to, of all people, Vestal Goodman.
Really?
I had to go up to him afterwards and compliment him on it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Because I thought, like, nobody else here knows who you're talking about, but I get
That's
it.
right. That's right.
And he appreciated
Yeah.
it. So there you
How
go.
about that? Old Vestal up in Canada, yeah. Oh, good.
Her and her hanky, and then I mentioned to my wife, because she's not familiar with the Southern Gospel. Well, pretty much at all. Vestal with her hanky, Peg McCamey Bean with her shoes.
Yep, that's right. I can imagine the look on your wife's face when you're like, "What?" Yeah. Confused. Yeah. Yeah.
Show me a look of confusion, Josh.
Yeah. Be looking like that. Yeah. Be very confused. Yeah.
Fair enough. I'll go along with
Okay. Yeah. Goodness. Goodness. Well, Nick, I appreciate you, sir. I know you got things to do and all, and I won't keep you much longer, but I appreciate you doing this for me, sir.
Yeah, I've got things. What time?
It's
What time is it?
8:12.
8:12.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a lot of things to do at
That's
8:12.
right.
I've got tons to do. I have other people's lawns to mow
Yeah.
and stuff.
You might watch the Toronto Blue Jays. Ain't no telling, right?
I don't watch Blue Jay. Let me guess. A sports team,
Yes,
right?
baseball. Yeah. They're not doing that great this year, but okay. I'll let you
Ah,
off the hook for that time. Yeah.
they, they've had a few off seasons.
Yes.
They've had more than a few off
That's right.
seasons.
That's right. Oh goodness. Goodness. That's right.
You've been so kind to me, Josh. Thank you so much for allowing me to even be part of this podcast. I appreciate it very
Well,
much, and it's been an absolute
I've
pleasure.
enjoyed it. I've learned a bunch of stuff I didn't know. I know I'm a Kingsman fan, but I appreciate you sharing with me, sir. I really do. It's been fun. I appreciate your friendship. You've been a good
Did
friend.
you learn a bunch of stuff that you wish?
No,
Did you
I
likewise,
no,
my friend?
I'm
Did you learn a bunch of things that you wish you didn't know?
no, I'm glad you told me. Yeah, I really am. I always wondered how you joined the Kingsmen and all that, and I'm glad you told me. I am, because I always wondered. But yeah,
Well, there are aspects to the Kingsman's history at that particular point in
yeah,
time that I'm not the
right.
person to
That's right.
divulge.
Yeah,
So you should have like Brandon Reese on
yeah.
here or somebody else. Get my get my dad on here.
I'm gonna check
I'd
on
love
that.
to hear whatever he has to say.
I'm gonna have to do that. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna have to do that. And I tell you what, he's been awfully nice to me too over the years on Facebook, answering my questions on Messenger, showing me pictures of his bass gear and all, and great man, nice man as well too. And I appreciate that. Yeah, yeah.
Well, I told you this in messages, but I'm going to tell you this face to face. Don't let his modesty fool you.
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha.
Just, 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 just don't.
Well, I'll tell you this since I'm looking at you face to face, and is this going to be recorded? You have always been one of my favorite piano players, and I appreciate it. Yeah, always done a great job. Yes, sir.
Oh,
Yeah,
Josh,
super talented guy.
you've always made me blush now. So with my blonde hair, my blue streak, and my red cheeks,
Yeah,
I'm multicolored.
multicolored.
You're, you've always been, a special friend. Not, I've never regarded you as just like a fan, but always as a
Well, I
friend.
appreciate that.
And I've appreciated
Well,
your friendship for so many
yeah.
years. And thank you.
Well, just count me as one of your biggest fans too, because
You're an
you are.
absolute.
I am your biggest fan. I'm one of your biggest fans. Yeah.
You're. I'm just me. I'm just Nikki.
Yeah.
But you've always been a very special friend, and I've appreciated your friendship
I appreciate
for such a long
you. Yes.
time. So thank
Yes,
you.
sir. Thank you, sir. Well, appreciate everybody for checking in. This.
And you can cut
Go
out.
ahead.
You can cut.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Nick. I didn't mean to cut you off there.
You can cut out. No, that's all right. You can cut me off like much earlier,
No,
so you can cut out anything you want.
no, no. This has been too good. Oh.
Ah, jury's out on that one.
Oh.
You've been an absolute gentleman, Josh. Thank
Thank
you
you,
so
sir.
much.
This has been episode 4 of the Behind the Music podcast with our special guest, Nick Succi. Thank everyone for listening, and we'll be back soon. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Nick.
My pleasure.
Good deal. Thank you, sir.
What do I do?
All right. So
You have been listening to Behind the Music Podcast with your host, Josh Griffin. Tune in next time, and until then, please rate and share this podcast.